Hard Israfil. Brain injury and what it reveals about the frontal lobes. Some of the most powerful insights in neuroscience come from extreme and unusual cases. One such case is that of Hard Israfil, a man who survived a devastating brain injury that would normally be fatal. Israfil was shot at close range with the shotgun. The blast destroyed a large portion of the right side of his brain, particularly affecting the frontal lobe. A significant amount of brain tissue was lost, and his survival was considered remarkable. Despite the severity of the injury, he lived for many years afterward. However, the injury had profound effects on his behavior, personality, and cognitive functioning. After the injury, Israfil showed clear difficulties with impulse control, planning, and decision-making. His emotional responses were altered, and his behavior became less predictable. These changes are consistent with damage to the frontal lobes, which play a key role in executive functions such as self-control, reasoning, and regulating behavior. He also experienced physical difficulties, including partial paralysis and problems with coordination. This reflects the wider impact of the injury on surrounding brain systems. One of the most important lessons from this case is the role of the frontal lobes in shaping personality. When these areas are damaged, people may struggle to control impulses, make appropriate decisions, or respond emotionally in typical ways. At the same time, Israfil's survival highlights the brain's capacity for neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to reorganize and adapt after injury. Although he did not fully recover, he regained some ability to function, showing that other parts of the brain can partially compensate for damage. This case also supports the idea that brain function is distributed across networks rather than isolated in single regions. While the frontal lobes are crucial, recovery and behavior depend on interactions across the brain. There are important real-world implications. Understanding frontal lobe damage helps clinicians design rehabilitation strategies and anticipate behavioral changes in patients with traumatic brain injuries. It also raises ethical questions about responsibility, particularly when brain damage affects decision-making and impulse control. However, it is important to evaluate this case carefully. As a single case study, it cannot be generalized to everyone. Individual differences, the exact location of damage, and environmental factors all influence outcomes. This means we must be cautious when drawing broad conclusions. Despite these limitations, cases like Israfil's are extremely valuable. They provide insights that cannot be obtained through controlled experiments, as it would be unethical to create such injuries intentionally. This case is often compared to historical cases like Phineas Gage, but it provides more modern evidence of how brain damage affects behavior. So what is the key takeaway? Ahad Israfil's case shows that the frontal lobes are essential for controlling behavior, emotions, and decision-making. It demonstrates how severe brain injury can alter personality, while also revealing the brain's limited but important capacity to adapt. More broadly, it reminds us that who we are is closely linked to the structure and function of our brain. And when the brain changes, behavior changes too.
If you enjoyed our channel, please click subscribe.